Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. So we are continuing to follow this story. This is regarding the Carlos Brown. The Carlos Brown is the man accused of fatally stabbing Iryna Zarutska. So we got new body camera video released by CMPD on yesterday, and it shines more light on that man at the center of that encounter on Charlotte light rail. And that stabbing involving Iryna Zarutska. But that video starts on a January morning showing flashing lights and officers stepping out of their patrol cars. And we were able to go through that video. Jesse Pierre is following this. And again, I just want to clarify, this is an incident that happened prior to that fatal stabbing of Iryna Zarutska. Jesse, what have you been able to figure out? I know you're following this story today.
So, the Carlos Brown was arrested back in January for misusing 911. So the video, you see lots of different angles of body cam video from CMPD after they responded. And he tells police that he has a man-made material inside his body that's controlling his body and what he does. He also says one point that he's hearing voices clear as day, very clearly in his head. And he wants the police to investigate this. And so the police, they do, they try to, I guess, work with him or try to get him to get medical assistance. They did ask him if he was ever diagnosed with anything, and he said schizophrenia, but he said that was not true, or that wasn't the case, or he didn't have that. And they try to reason with him a couple times, and he eventually gets more agitated as the video goes on because he wants them to, investigate this thing. So, we shared the video yesterday, and I wanted to dig a little deeper and speak to like a mental health special expert, when she sees this video, what she sees. And, she talked about overall, she saw that this was a man who was obviously in some level of psychosis. She says when you're dealing with someone with a psychosis, whatever they think, believe, that's it. There's you can't be a foe. The only thing you can do is support them because what they believe is real. You can't hear the voices in their head, but they hear the voices in the head. And it's very real to them and what they're going through. But again, you're also dealing with an adult who, you can't force them to take medication. You can't force them to get help. You can't force them to, do anything. And so, that creates challenges when you have police responding to situations where mental health is the issue. And, he ended up getting arrested because he kept calling 911 because he wants them to investigate this. They're telling him this is not a criminal situation, but a medical situation. And so at the end, he ended up in handcuffs. And so it just kind of, I guess highlights some gaps or needs or challenges in the mental health system in general, especially when you're dealing with adults who are suffering from different mental health illnesses, but aren't getting the treatment they need, or, who knows how long he's been suffering with this and how long he's gone without help. And, could something have been done if he had gotten help years ago or months before and so forth, to put him in a different place in mind, to prevent what happened later on? We don't know, right? There's so many different questions, but overall, when, speaking with this mental health expert about this video, what she does see is that he's in a psychosis, and he obviously is a person struggling with mental health challenge. She said what she would have loved to see maybe is, she does agree that the officers were doing what they could. They're walking the fine line, but they were doing what they could to help him, or get him to a place to either, understand that he does need help or medical support. But maybe if there was another, whether it's a different group, a different team that is specific with mental health illness or psychosis that could have helped, walk him down a little bit, talk him down a little bit, or sit with him a little bit, and just see until the psychosis goes away or something. Or if there was a person they were able to connect with a family member, a loved one who would have been more familiar with his history or his mental health and so forth. So, he obviously needed support, mental health support. It's very, very clear. And there's a big need for different mental health resources here, I think that's what kind of a thing it highlights, the need for mental health resources to support police, to support communities, and just kind of and so forth. So that's kind of been what we've been talking about and digging into when we're looking at those videos.
Yeah, and you mentioned obviously you're following the mental health angle today, but that's something that our leaders here, especially in Mecklenburg County, state leaders as well, have brought up that they want to address mental health. Jesse, Jesse, thank you. You can catch Jesse's story at 5 and 6 o'clock this evening. Again, Jesse, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.